new BMW E36. So if you guys keep up with the channel, you could tell that this is my second E36, BMW E36. I actually bought a $400 318i sedan back in November of 2017. A lot has happened since then, a whole lot has happened since then. Long story short, one night we were out snow drifting in my high school parking lot, and I let my friend drive it, and he put it into the bleachers, crashed it, totaled. That car is gone. Here's the car. It's a 1993 325 IS, as I said. I've actually had this car for a while now. I've done a lot of stuff to it. Most of the stuff was just maintenance, getting it reliable and running again. This is my second E36, and I know I'm Max Merc and I love Mercedes, but I just truly have loved these E36s. Both of them that I've owned, they just grow on you. You just love these cars. 1993 was the first year for Vanos, so the variable valve timing. So I got lucky in that I got a car with Vanos. If I was the 1992, I wouldn't have, but this is a 1993, so it does have Vanos. The car itself only has around 128,000 miles. I am the third owner. I got an extremely good deal on this car, actually. I got it for $1,500 because the previous owner really didn't know what the value of this car is, because I don't know, these cars are going up quite a bit in value, because just kind of like the 240 SXs are, all these cars are being, picked out as drift beaters, and they're all just destroyed, and they're getting harder and harder to come by. And I really lucked out with this car because it's black on tan interior, two-door coupe, 325 IS, and on top of that, this car has the sport package, or the sport seats, the OBD onboard computer. I'll show you guys that when I get inside, and the winter package, the cold weather package, and that gives the car the heated seats, heated door handles, stuff like that. Most importantly, limited slip differential. So this car has limited slip differential from the factory, so that is just great. I got grayed out corner lights right there, as you guys can see. I did the tape mod too, so you put a piece of tape over part of the bulb, and that'll only activate it when you use the turn signal. Look it up if you guys want to do that. I got an eBay chip tune for this car, so as far as power wise, it's probably good for what, 5-10 horsepower, not much, but it raises the rev limiter to 7,500, so that's pretty much the only good part. I mean, it does feel a little bit better, but probably, as I said, good for 5-10 horsepower. But the most important is the raised rev limiter. I got a M3 style diffuser. As you can see right there, that's an M3 style diffuser off eBay. Another thing that's new are the headlights. I got some eBay depot headlights. So they have the LED angels, and I've installed some LED low beam bulbs. They look absolutely great, and they light up the night very, very well. Next up, I got new tires for the car. So these are on some Yokohama S-Drive summer tires. I got summer tires for it, and I got 20mm spacers for the rear. When the time is right, I'm gonna get some spacers for the front too. Right now, I'm spending my money on that CLS, which I also made a video on, and then hopefully an M3 bumper, because this bumper has it's gotta go. It's so ugly. Needs an M3 bumper. It's missing the fog lights too, so when I get an M3 bumper, I'll put the fog lights. I have LED license plate bulbs right there. Very, very bright, looks good. I tinted this portion because I don't want to spend unnecessary money to get the Euro style one, so I just tinted these. The car also does have a brand new flex disc, because it needed one really badly. It has a new drive shaft center support. It has brand new Brembo rotors. I have all this as a list right here. Brembo rotors, Bosch pads, just OEM stuff, all off FCP Euro, so with the lifetime warranty. And that's about it. So the car runs great. It leaked some oil when I first got it. My mechanic took great care of it, so it's good now. I want to get a black headliner, because this headliner is really falling apart. As you guys can see, that headliner is pretty much done, so I need a brand new headliner. And I want to get a short shifter, because on my old E36 I had a short shifter, and it was just great. There's really not much else to say about the car. I mean, the body is great. Paint is it's pretty good. I mean, there's some typical E36 fading spots up here, but nothing crazy. And then wheels. Although in the beginning I hated these wheels. I really hated the wheels in the beginning, and I wish they were an inch or two bigger. But they really grow on you, these wheels. They just look so, I don't know. You want to hate, I mean, I hated them in the beginning, but I really do think now that they just look so 90s and classy and just old school and retro. I don't know. I would get new wheels, but I already spent a bunch of money on those the brand new Yokohama S-Drive summer tires, so it just doesn't make sense to get a whole new set of wheels. The end goal for this car is going to be turbo it, get a turbo kit, something. That's the goal for this car. But this is just such a fun car. I mean, I absolutely adore this car. I bought this car all on my own, and I just love everything about it. So I've got, you know, headlight stuff over here. The door panels are kind of coming apart. I really don't know how this happened. I think the previous owner tried to do some stuff with it, maybe redo it or something. I don't know. That's just a little iffy, but I'm not gonna worry about that. All electronics in this car work. Steering wheel, at first I really hated this steering wheel too, but it's real leather. It feels really nice to touch, and it'll do for now. Eventually I'll get a different steering wheel. This is the original stereo. Don't want to turn it on, get a copyright strike or anything, but original stereo. I don't plan on changing this because this car is just so original. Everything, like the door, what's this called? The glove box usually sags on these cars, and this car it's not. And just this car's just so well maintained and original. I mean, look at the seats. I mean, the driver's seat is the same. It's just so well maintained. And I've actually lowered the rear seats to, you know, get a little bit better sound. From the exhaust. It's a lot louder when you drop it because the sound deadening inside is actually pretty good. It has a brand new blower motor resistor. These E36s have a problem where when the blower motor resistor goes, it'll only work on 4 for the heater and the climate control. So that's new. It has dual zone climate control. I mean, for a 1993 car with dual zone climate control, that's pretty impressive. Here I've got my OBC onboard computer. Consumption, that's all there. It's not pixelated, which is just great. I mean, these BMWs love to pixelate, or the buttons love to get messed up, but this one is just great. Perfect condition. Temperature, speed, average speed, distance. That's like BMW's like own old school, like you plug in how far you are to your destination, and it's kind of like a really weird version of a GPS, the first old school version of a GPS. This is check control. License plate light failed. That's because they're LED and it throws an error. But if you click that, and if there's no error, it'll say check control okay. But this is actually really useful because it'll tell you like washer fluid low, bulb low, or bulb is blown, whatever. It's just so amazing for 1993 to have all this stuff. That's just so cool. Range, code, I'll get to that in a minute. Limit, you can set a speed limiter, so when you get a certain speed, it'll like ding at you. Timer, which is pretty cool. You can change kilometers to miles. And then you have your clock stuff, memo, which will just kind of chime every hour or before every hour, something like that. I really don't know. And these are your buttons to like input numbers or dates and stuff. But the cool one is code. So let me show you how that works. So with the car off, license plate light fail. With the car off and ignition on, I push code. Let's say I want to put in a number, 100. Or let's do this. I want to do 1010, and then set. Okay. So now this code light will stay on. That's like my little security system, whatever. I go to start the car. I'll open the door so you guys can hear it. I go to start the car, and it will not start because it shuts off. That weird dinging sound, that's because the code is on. That's the sound for that. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it shuts off the fuel pumps, but I'll go ahead and try and start it. Doesn't start. So I go ahead and I want to put my code in, and now it will allow the car to start. Really cool stuff. In the 90s, you know, car theft was a huge thing, and I guess BMWs were pretty desirable for car thieves back then. So BMW implemented some really cool stuff. The cool thing is if you keep trying to do it, it'll actually set the alarm. This car doesn't have an alarm, but if you keep doing it, it'll start going like beep, 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 beep with the horn. So cool stuff there. Heated seats. For a 1993, it has heated seats, which is pretty cool. I'll actually leave those on. Window switches right there. I think the LED for these is burned out, so I have to get new window switches. hazard lights, parking brake. Got some change in there. Armrest goes up and down. A little bit worn out there, but that's pretty good. As far as seats go, these are power seats. I forgot to mention. You can see they're power seats. The only thing that doesn't work is the recline function. If you guys know anything about that recline function, I think what that is maybe a broken gear or something. But I mean, luckily, since it's broken, it's at my desired seat position, so I really don't have to worry about that. But I'd like to get that fixed one day. And it's weird because I think it's the same for this side. And then there's this extension, this extendable thigh bolster right there. In here, glove box, all my tickets. We don't have to worry about that. Flashlight here. I've got the manuals in here. And what's really cool about this, the original, I don't want to pull it out because they're all like tucked in there. But what's really cool is that this car, so I even have the original keychain from 1993 that this car came with upon delivery. But I have the original window sticker in there and the original, like the paper you signed to, you know, close the deal at the dealership, whatever. This car was financed for what, 60 months, I think? And he was paying the equivalent adjusted to inflation. He was paying what? Almost like $900 a month. Because this was the top of the line car, but it was like around 35 something, $30,000 or $35,000 back then. Adjusted for inflation now, that's about 65,000. So this is the modern day equivalent, or the modern day equivalent of this car would be the 440i. This car has the M Sport suspension from the factory. One day I'm going to put some coilovers on this car, along with the exhaust, stuff like that. The M50 engine, although I wish it was a 328, the M50 engine is pretty good on its own. You know, I've had the 318 and now I have the 325, and it's just such a big difference. The 6-cylinder E36, it's just so much more potent of an engine, and just the 318, I mean, although it was very fun, not gonna lie, the 6-cylinder is just great amount of power for what this car weighs. And then this shift knob actually was given to me. I'll turn on the light. Was given to me by my mechanic. It's weighted, so it just feels really nice in the hand. My mechanic, his son had a E30, or his son-in-law had an E39 M5, and he was, I guess, selling it, and he just took off all his stuff and he gave it to my mechanic. And my mechanic doesn't have a stick shift anymore. He has an E39, an F10, a bunch of stuff, but he doesn't have a stick shift BMW anymore. So he brought this over and gave it to me, which was really, really nice of him, especially considering that this is around $100 new online. In the box, it said it was from ECS Tuning, although I couldn't find this on their website now. I'm sure they used to make it and it's just discontinued now. Either way, I love this design. I love the aluminum, and it just feels great. It took me a month to find this car, because at least in my area, these E36s that are unmolested, that they're clean, coupe, 6-cylinder, manual, factory LSD, you just don't find them here. It took me a month to find this car, and the buyer didn't know what he had, so I'm sorry, the seller didn't know what he had. Such a fun car, and just the sound and everything, it's just such a great experience. I really love this car so much. I have the CLS as my Mercedes, and just that's a great car on its own too, but I just love these E36s, man. So if you guys want to see more of this car, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. You know, I'll try and keep you guys updated with the build, or if I ever decide to put a turbo on it and stuff like that. So if you guys liked it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and let me know what you think.